Very good morning to every one of you. On behalf of Janssen Institute of Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, India, I wholeheartedly welcome you all for this workshop. It was organized by Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering in association with JIT Institution Innovation Council and Entrepreneurship Development Cell. 2 days webinar workshop on home automation using Internet of Things hands-on training with Tinkercad simulation software. Today, first session will be handled by Professor P. Ishwari, Associate Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, on the title of Introduction to Internet of Things, Sensors and Application Program Interface Development. She has 12 years of experience in teaching. She has completed her BE EC in Tamil Nadu College of Engineering. She has completed his ME Embedded System Technology in Anna University, Coimbatore. Currently, she is pursuing her PhD in Industrial Automation using IoT. Now I hand over the session.
Good morning to all. On behalf of Janssen Institute of Technology, once again I welcome you all to participate in our webinar. Before entering into the hands-on training, let us see a small introduction about the introduction in home automation by raising a question: why IoT in smart home automation isn't indeed? So the answer is it had made the lives easier, simpler by connecting all the home appliances into the internet connection. So by doing the all manual work automatically, so we can control all the actions in home automation. So by having a smartphone with good internet connection. So the IoT is also called as the service provider. So based on the service provider action, so we can get the many that is advantages: remote sensing, facilitate 24/7 monitoring, conserving energy, and maximum security. So in our session, we are going to see about the designing, implementation, and the connectivity of the home automation using IoT. So in application area of home automation, so we can control the light, as well as we can bring the home appliances as the very smart one. Then we can improvise, as well as we can enhance the security level of the home appliances, and we can bring the switches, locks, energy meters as the smart one. Then using NLK language, that is natural language based voice assistant, as well as the artificial intelligence based driven digital experience home appliances, we can control the actively. So the IoT service provides the benefits. So based on the action of the artificial intelligence, NLK languages in the smart home automation, we can obtain the optimized operational output, better asset management, then the improved decision making. So based on that decision making, we can reduce the cost, as well as we can enhance the security level of the home appliances. So let us see the home automation components. So right from the sensor to the application domain, we have so many things. The first one is IoT sensors. The next main thing is IoT protocols. The third one is firmware and middleware. In the IoT sensors, we have so many types. We have so many, that is home automation sensors like light sensors, temperature sensor, humidity sensor, then energy monitoring sensor, HVAC control sensor, smoke sensor. So all are coming under that sensing domain. From that sensing domain, we can collect the data into the application domain, where in the application domain we have the user interface devices like tablet, smartwatches, and television to control and monitoring the actions. So in our home automation components, we will see IoT sensors, gateways, protocols, firmware, middleware, cloud, and database connection. So right from the sensing domain, we can consider the lot of home automation sensors like light smoke sensors, light sensor, temperature sensor, humidity sensor, etc. So we can collect the data from the sensors and transfer to the application domain through the protocols, that is network domain, like RFID, Wi-Fi, Zigbee module and Bluetooth. So in between application domain and network domain, we have the one platform, that is IoT gateway. So through this IoT gateway, we can enhance the security level of the data transferring from sensing domain to application domain. So in gateways, so Cisco and NXP or that is gateway providers, they done their good job in transmitting the data from sensing domain to application domain. In IoT protocols, we can classify the IoT protocols based on the that is area coverage. Let us see later. So these are all the different types of sensor that we can use use in home automation, that is color sensor, gas sensor, LDR, that is light dependent sensor, proximity sensor, smoke sensor, water flow sensor, PIR sensor, that is IR sensor, touch sensor and humidity sensor. So then come to the that is communication protocol. In communication protocols, based on the area coverage, we can classify it into two, that is low power wide area network and short range network. In low power wide area network, we can use the two types of protocols, that is Sigfox and cellular. So where the cellular covers the range up to 8 kilometer. So in Sigfox, we can cover the area coverage ranges from 3 to 10 kilometers. For the short range network protocol, we can consider the Bluetooth, Z-Wave, RFID, Zigbee and NFC. The NFC means that is near field communication. So both Bluetooth and Z-Wave covers the range up to 100 meters, whereas the Zigbee covers up to 300 meters. So RFID covers only 1 meter. If we want to transfer the data between device to device, then we can go for the NFC, that is near field communication, where the range between the two devices should be 4 centimeter. So this is IoT PaaS providers. So PaaS provider means platform act as the service providers. So where the data will be stored. Here AWS, that is Amazon Web Service, IoT, Azure, IoT, ThingWorx, Obidot, ThingSpeaks, Carriots, ContNet, TempleQ, Xyvilli, IBM, Blumex, all are acting as IoT PaaS providers. So this is the home automation architecture. So in home automation architecture, in order to transfer the data from the components as well as the home appliances to the application, that is user interface devices, we have to concentrate on that state machine, event bus, status, service registry, timer. So based on the time changed events, you can transfer the bit rate from that is sensing domain to application domain, as well as you have to fix the status of the machine. So if you want to connect more than one home appliances, you have to specify the state of the state machine. So based on the state machine, that is status of state machine, is the architecture, that is IoT platform, make some decision in order to give the that is events. So based on the publish service, call event, listeners, time changed event, you can code your program. So in our session, what will you learn here? So ESP32, that is Node MCU, BLE, that is Bluetooth Low Power Energy, then app, mobile app, Arduino IDE. So if you want to connect Node MCU with the mobile app, you don't want need of the Arduino board. So by using simply Arduino IDE, you can make the contact with the Node MCU using that is mobile. Then after getting the sensor data, if you want to transfer the data into the cloud, you can use your ThingSpeak. You can also call your ThingSpeak in mobile app also. So using ESP8266, that is Wi-Fi module and relay board is you can get this that is data from these sensors. What are the types of sensors connected in the relay board? Then you can transfer the same into the things board. So in our IoT platform, we are going to concentrate on these two types of that is components, that is ESP8266 and Bluetooth. So where the Bluetooth is connected over this Arduino Uno. In the Bluetooth, we have four that is pin points, that transmitter, receiver, ground signal and VCC. Don't bother about the state and key. Where in the Arduino board, just give the 5 volt pin connection to the Bluetooth VCC, then ground to ground connection. Then transmitter should be connected with the D11, where the D11 is the transmitter pin in the Arduino. Then D10 is the receiver pin in the Arduino. Just connect D10 along with the transmitter pin of the Bluetooth. Then ESP8266, you have the two buttons, that is flash button and reset button. If you want to get the response, so after uploading the code into the Arduino IDE, if you didn't get any response, means just reset the button. Then through the micro USB port, you can give the connection through the PC. Then ESP8266 has 2.4 gigahertz antenna. Then, so let us see the first thing. So where the Wi-Fi, that is ESP8266 is connected with the electrical appliance. Let us consider a single bulb. Through the relay connection, we are going to control the on and off status of the LED. So before that, we should know about the relay contact. In the relay contact, we will have the 3 pins, that is pin S, plus and minus, as well as the 3 contacts, NC, normally closed contact, common point, and then NO, normally open point. Then transistor and transistor, resistor, then all diodes are inbuilt inside the relay. So you don't want any external driver in order to operate your relay contact. So simply using this ESP8266 along with the relay contact, you can connect your LED bulb. So just give the connection VCC of the relay contact with the V input of. So this is the connection between a relay contact with the node MCU, that is ESP8266. So where the 2 terminals of the LED is connected with the node MCU through relay point. In that, the neutral connection is directly given to the power supply, where the phase connection is given to the LED through relay contact. So once the hardware connection is over, then we have to concentrate on the programming. So if we want to operate our node MCU ESP8266, we have to update some library function inside the Arduino IDE. So in programming node MCU with Arduino IDE, so first of all select the file and go to the preference. So in that you will get the window like this. So in this additional board main manager URL, you should keep you have to copy this URL and paste it. Then only you can activate your ESP8266. After that you can get the response. So whenever the connection is completed. So as well as by default in the Arduino IDE there will be Arduino Uno, but go to the tools and try to select the node MCU 1.0 ESP12E module, which is the version of the ESP8266. So after that in the board manager just select ESP8266, then install that. So these are all the procedure in order to update the library package of the ESP8266. So if you want to operate, if you want to control the LED on and off, then you have to update your library function of the ESP8266. Here you don't want any Arduino toolkit, so simply using Arduino IDE as well as Node MCU 8266, you can control your on-off and Java and embedded C program. So in our case, we are using C program in Arduino IDE. So in a header function, just include your ESP8266 Wi-Fi.h. So in this, you have to change your SSID and password. So then only you can control your developed project by using your own mobile phone. Otherwise, you can't. So here SSID means that is the service set provider, that is identifier which is given in your mobile phone, as well as you can change your password also. Then serial begin, that is baud rate of this ESP8266 is 1,15,200, that is default value. So you have to follow. So whenever the program is uploaded successfully, then come to the serial monitor which is present in the toolbar. So in serial monitor, you can get the COM port. In this COM port, if once the that is connection as well as the uploading process of the program is over, you will get the that is information like this, that is connecting to Able's part or connected successfully. So after that, you can get the that is Wi-Fi connected server IP address like this. So here IP address, so based on the IP address, you can enable your general purpose input IO pin as to low as well as to high, that is 192.168.43.135 bar. GPIO means that is general purpose input output pin. The status of GPIO is 0. Here LED remains on off condition. So if you want to change the condition of the LED to on, then change the status value of GPIO to 1. So these are all the very important. So once you predict the IP address, directly you can go for to design your app development. So we are under app development session. So in this app development, I am going to use MIT App Inventor. So you can download your MIT App Inventor using this website, that is ai2appinventor.mit.edu. So if you want to start that is app, you want to create your Google account. If you already have Google account, just skip this step. Then in the mobile phone, just download the MIT AI2 companion app. Then only you can make the that is a link with the mobile phone along with PCE. Let us start the session to develop app development in order to control home appliances. So for that, we have to enter into the website ai2.appinventor.mit.edu. So for that, we have to create Google account. If you already have that Google account, please skip this that step. So in personal that is mobile phone, you have to download MIT AI2 companion app. So from that, based on that only you can link that is both a mobile phone along with the personal computer. So once MIT App Inventor is downloaded, it will ask about that project name. So you can give your project name without any space. So if you give any space between the words, then it will not be that is allowable. So once the space is not space removed between the words, is you can get the dashboard like this. In this dashboard, yes, you can. This dashboard is called as the designer editor. In designer editor, is you can see the palette, designer button, properties and viewers. In palette, you can find the components and drag them to the viewer to add them to your app. In designer button, you can click any tab to go to the designer lab. The properties window, select the components of the components list to change its properties like colors, font size and behavior. In the viewer screen, you can drag the components from the palette to the viewer to see what your app will look like. So these are all the major things you have to follow. That is palette, viewer window, a designer button. Then the fourth one is properties. So this viewer window is similar as that of the real one. So you can design your own screen. Then the next one is block editor. In block editor dashboard, yes, you can see the built-in drawers, component specific drawers, block buttons, blocks, then viewer windows. Using block and drawers, you can select any block that like control, logic, maths, text, list and colors as well as the variables. In component specific drawers, yes, you can that is select the components of the front screen like text box, button, text to speech. So if you want to connect a Node MCU and Bluetooth, you can select Bluetooth as well as Node MCU as the components in the designer block. In the block button, if you press the tab button, is you can change the block editor into the designer editor mode. Buttons, then status of the Bluetooth as well as the status of the Node MCU like IP address, then address and name of the Bluetooth. So for an example, so after selecting the relay as the buttons, on and off as the labels, your home IP as the that is label, then you can say after uploading the program in the Arduino IDE, you will be getting your IP address like 192.168.43.186. So when the IP address is placed in your home IP in the block section, you can activate your relay 1, 2, 3 and 4. So based on the that is controlling action. Here you can control your relays based on voice commands also. So by calling, by drag, speech, text, you can control your home appliances by voice commands also. So you can see in the palette platform, you will have the user interface, layout, media, drawing and animation, maps, sensor. Here you can find so many different types of home automation sensors. Not only home automation sensor, you can predict so many, that is industrial automation sensors also. In social media, you can call Bluetooth web server in order to control your home appliances. Then storage, connectivity, then finally extension. If you want to add, that is unmounted any extra library functions, you can use this extension mode. So whatever the blocks call from that, whatever the things you call from palette, you can get the same as the components in the third column. In fourth column, that is properties, you can say after selecting the components from the third column, you can change the properties which is given in the property column, like a font size, style, colors, then text name. You can rename your label also. So come to this block editor mode. So in our hands-on session, we are going to design our home automation using a relay. So let us see the relay control action using this block editor. So this is the relay 1 concept for on condition, then off condition, relay 2, relay 3 on, relay 3 off. So when you are clicking on the button relay 1, you will get the conditional block like this, when and do. See, after setting the that is URL function for this URL1, so by calling the IP address, you can control the on function of the relay. Similarly, so if you put your IP address here, you can control the action of relay 1 to the off state. So similarly, you can control the on and off state of relay 2 as well as the relay 3. So for the voice command based controlling action, you can call text to speech for all the relays. Text to speech 1. So it is used to turn on your relay 1, to turn off your relay 1. So based on the conditional statement, so when and do. So this is the specific block for the web. So whenever the Node MCU 8266 is connected along with the electrical appliances, you have to call as the web button from the designer editor. So but in the block editor, you can give the status of the URL, that is IP address. So you can get the IP address once the that is program is uploaded successfully in the Arduino IDE. Is in the compute serial monitor, you will be able to get your IP address. So after placing the IP address with the GPIO 0 pin, you can bring your electrical light bulb into your off state, then bulb into on state when GPIO pin is goes to 1. This is the entire connection based on that Node MCU 8266. So we have the hardware connection along with the mobile app. Then we can communicate both mobile app with the personal computer. Then come to the Bluetooth connection. In Bluetooth connection, we have to concentrate on this before picking as well as the after picking. So in the after picking, once the condition is satisfied, name label will be changed like this. So in this Bluetooth after picking, you will give the connection, that is address of the Bluetooth. Then only you will be control your relay contact through Bluetooth. So if you want to operate your home appliances through Bluetooth contact, you should need of Arduino tool, that is development kit. So this is the blocks. So if you want to control the relay button using voice commands, so just click on the voice recognition button, then you will get the blocks like this. So if you give the text button, then it will be converted into the speech. Whenever the relay is contacted successfully with the Bluetooth, you will get the speech voice signal as the output. Here the entire process to develop mobile app is completed. So after completing the mobile app, just call the AI companion, that is App Inventor Companion. In MIT App Inventor 2, just click on this connect, then you will get the AI companion. Already I told in the that is mobile, personal mobile, you have to download your MIT App Inventor. It should be like this, that is type in the 6-character code, scan the QR code, connect with code. So in personal computer, once the AI companion is that is downloaded, you will get the scan barcode like this. By scanning this QR code or by entering the 6-digit character into this mobile, you can download the developed app in the form of APK file format. That is, APK means Android package file format. By default in computer, it will be stored like AIA file format. That is, AIA means that is Adobe Illustration Action File. So if you want to operate your that is a mobile app by using your mobile phone, you have to convert that AIA file into APK file. That is, APK means application package. That is Android package, sorry. So this is our working module. So this is case for Bluetooth. This is the case for Node MCU. In this Bluetooth connection, you have Arduino toolkit. So you can give the Arduino connection along with the Bluetooth, because in this we have 4 points in Bluetooth: transmitter, receiver, ground and 5 volt. So all the pins have to be connected with the Arduino. So this is the relay driver. So using this relay driver, you can give your home appliances. So by clicking on and off in the mobile, you can control your on and off status of the home appliances using Bluetooth. In Node MCU, you can give the similar connection as that of the relay and mobile, but here there is no Arduino tool. So using Arduino IDE, you know how to program. Next we go for ThingSpeak. ThingSpeak is a great platform in order to monitor your online data, so which are obtained from your sensor, all types of home appliances, equipments as well as the sensors. So ThingSpeak, it will take minimum of 15 seconds to update your readings, as well as before that you have to create your channels in order to get the API key. Then only, so similar, that is based on the IP address, you can give the connection between Node MCU along with the Arduino IDE. Similarly, see, after getting API key only, you can connect your ThingSpeak along with the mobile app. So you can use this website in order to download the ThingSpeak, www.thingspeak.com. Here you don't want to create any Google account, so directly you can enter into this ThingSpeak. So once this process is over, it will ask about that user ID, email, then some password, time zone regarding that. So after that it will generate its own, that is API key, so based on your personal information. So API key means application programming interface key. So in this code, so if you want to connect Node MCU 8266 along with the that is electrical equipment, you have to change your SSID as well as the password. Along with that, you have to provide your API key also, which is obtained from ThingSpeak. This is the block sector. Using block editor, you can design your block sector. So after calling the ThingSpeak graph from your palette in the designer mode, you can, after applying the API key, you can give the status of the relay either 0 or 1. So similarly, so you have to develop your, that is n number of blocks for the n number of home appliances, like field 1, field 2 and field 3. This is the program for this ThingSpeak. You know very well about the SSID, password, then API key. This is the final demonstration of the Node MCU 8266 along with the Arduino IDE key. So after the control action is provided on that relay 1, we can get the graph like this. Okay, thank you.